Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the SOS podcast, the Salvation of Souls podcast. I am here with another amazing woman of God, author Nekeira, and I will let her take the floor from here.
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Arthur Nekeira. Um, Thank you for having me. This is a great opportunity that you have given me, and I appreciate you wanting to know more about me and my testimony and my experience and my walk with God. Um, Yes, like I was saying earlier, I have a powerful testimony. It's a long testimony, but I'm gonna keep it short. My testimony is I grew up poor. I was raped by the same man as my mom. I'm a ninth grade dropout. I had to prostitute myself at the age of 17 years old. I had to grow up watching my grandparents do crack. I come from a family who can barely read or write to me actually being a published author today. I'm the first in my family to be doing what I'm doing. I've written so far 7 to 8 books. I'm still, it's still a lot more books that I haven't even come out with, but God opened up the door for me to be the first to do that. I'm the first woman pastor, ministry, prophet of my family. I know is this walk has not been easy. It's been very hard because I had to do it alone, especially with my family coming up against me and them actually being like my biggest enemy. I never really had no support. I've been on my own since the age of 15 years old, so this walk has not been easy for me. God actually, it's just been actually me, God, and now my daughter. And it be days where I go through the motion of feeling like I'm not being valued enough, of feeling like I'm not being loved as I should. And God just constantly have to remind me that I am on the right track and that I am doing exactly what he wants me to do and being exactly who he wants me to be. Because like I said, I don't have nobody to pat me on the back around me or to say I'm doing a good job or to give me that type of validation. So my validation actually comes from God. And like I said, but the walk itself with God and me starting my walk with God it has been amazing because he has had me in the palm of his hand the entire time. So, and he's not going to let me go. He actually just called me to walk in the office of a prophet like maybe last month for real. Like I had already been walking in the office of it, but I just so much didn't want the title because I felt like that was too much of a responsibility to call myself a prophet. You know what I'm saying? But God, when obedience is better than sacrifice, when God gives you something or gives you a gift or gives you a title, it's kind of wrong for us to just throw it back in his face and be like, we don't want it. So that's what I've been doing. Like I told you earlier, Renee, I kind of was giving a little backstory on even with me having to sleep in my car. 3 months ago, I had to sleep in my car for 4 months to obey God. And he carried me from over 20 states and I left my hometown off for $98 and he carried me and he told me not to ask nobody for no money. He just wanted me to disciple for him. And I was prophesying on this journey within these 4 months. I was telling my testimony and that itself was a wonderful experience because every day I got a chance to experience God and his words and his ways. And I got a chance to see God like I never seen him before just throughout my day. That was so beautiful. That was so beautiful within itself. Yeah, so like I was God kind of wanted me to preach more about separating the wheat from the tare. I know I was talking a little bit earlier. He want me to main so talk about the separation. He's separating the wheat from the tare at such a time as this. Like we are in a time in our life right now where it's actually good versus evil right now. And the presidency actually split that veil in half of good versus evil. Like I've been seeing so many people on different sides now, like even with just being a woman of God and being and even his children, like this whole thing has separated the wheat from the tare. And God said that is exactly what the president election this year was supposed to do. Even with his children, even the people that claim that they are a child of God, God used that to separate the wheat from the tare, to expose a lot of things at such a time as this, y'all. So right now we are living in a time where it is only two sides, and it's good versus evil. And this is the time to kind of like take heed, give grace. I want everybody to learn how to give grace. Don't of more so of kind of point the fingers if they chose this person or if you chose this person. God is just in the midst of all of this, y'all. I just want y'all to understand that God is just in the midst of all of this and what's going on. We tend to give the enemy too much credit when God is in control over everything and what we do in our lifetime and how things should go, because it's going to work out for our good at such a time as this. It's working out for our good. Renee, is there anything else you would like to add to that?
No, I totally understand with the whole election. I know it's been dividing a lot of people, especially people don't want to be friends no more. People don't want to talk no more. People are like, "Ooh, if you voted for this person, don't even talk to me. Oh, if you voted for this person, unfollow me. I don't want to know who you are." And I feel like, sorry, I feel like that there is a lot of division. I think now that it's been exposed, everything's been exposed. I feel like this is the year of exposure.
Mm,
2024 is the year of exposure. Everything has been exposed down to whoever you didn't think was doing, even in our own homes. It's crazy.
yeah,
Everybody's been exposed for certain things, and all the darkness is coming into the light. And I think it's what obviously the enemy doesn't want to see, but it's what God is revealing. He's taking that veil and he's opening it up. He said, like, no,
that's
you
right.
guys have to see the truth. And that's saying that even for me, this whole election, I was like, you know what? Whoever wins, let God take control.
That's
Because
right.
it doesn't matter who wins. All we know is that we need to pray for any country, our country, for whoever's running the country, and just place Jesus in the middle. That's all that really matters for me.
That's
I was
right.
like, you know what, God, you take control. You know what's best. We don't. We do not know what's best. You do.
That's right.
Whoever is mad, they'll be mad. Just as long as for me, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep my head in the word. I'll keep my head in God. Whoever wins, it's God's decision. It's the way God wanted it to be, and He had a
That's right.
good reason for what God wanted it to be. And as children of God, we shouldn't question Him too much. We could be like, "Why'd you do that?" But God had a set reason on there, so why He made certain things what He did, and it's like going back in the Bible type stuff where a lot of the people didn't know what they were doing. A lot of people were like, "Why is God doing this?" And it's like, hold on, wait a minute. God's doing what He has to do because He had a reason why He's doing it.
That's right.
And yeah, and that's just the way I love to think about the whole election. God's doing what He has to do because He needs it. He wants it this way. So that whatever
Right.
reason it may be, none of us know, but there's a reason behind every action He gives. And I remember we were talking off screen, and I really love your testimony because $98 is a lot to go around 20 countries.
Girl. And a lot of people, when I put out that testimony, because it did go viral a little bit. Like I said, I have videos like on my TikTok that kind of back up what I said, because he told me to take the people with me as I went and travel. So that actually is how my ministry actually started, with just sleeping in my car and preaching and teaching the word of God on TikTok, for real, like with making TikTok videos throughout me sleeping in my car. This what pushed me into what I'm doing right now, for real, and just being this confident and being able to talk, because girl, at one point the only thing I could do is make videos. I didn't know how to prophetically flow like this. And like I said, sometimes God will put you in certain situations to push that gift and to for you to give birth more out into the thing that He wants you to give birth to. So it strengthened me and it gave me more confidence for real. Cause girl, I was like, when he started telling me to go live, I was like, God, what would I say? Like, how would I? It just began to flow, and that's what it, that's what he wanted it to do, and also I want to talk about the fact that with the thing that I just said, when God will put you in certain situation, He is stripping a lot of His children of the old and bringing them more so into the new. So that what He is also doing at such a time as this, He is stripping us of the old and bringing us into the new. Where it's birthing season, so it's time to give birth to your gifts. It's time to give birth to a lot of things that God wants you to give birth to. So that exactly what He was doing as well. When we give God this yes, and it was more so of me giving God my yes. When we finally give Him that yes, girl, anything can come behind that yes. And sometimes you will actually lose the world for real behind that yes. Like I had a 5-year clothing business that I thought God, I was gonna see breakthrough through, and He did not allow it to be pushed forward for real. And He allowed my finances through my clothing business to dry up, which led me to um jump out here with just $98. So and even on that trip, even on this trip, I actually tried to like hold on to my clothing business, but He would not allow it to go forth. He told me to completely let it go, which I had to obey Him. He told me to let go of my 5-year relationship, my fiance. I had to let that go. Yeah, like that's not easy. That's not easy. And I want people to understand that it's okay to trust God and to let everything go for real, especially if He's telling you to, because He wants to give you better. Sometimes we try to force God's hand into allowing us to settle, and God is not a man that don't settles. Like He's not going to allow you to settle for less when He know that it's in the will of God for you to have better and to actually get the love that you deserve and to actually see true fruition in the things that He's telling you to do. Because like I said, when I was in my 5-year clothing business, I was putting more money into it than I actually was getting out of it. Majority of the stuff that I have ever done in life, I wasn't really seeing true fruition throughout the things, and I didn't understand it because like I'm a hard worker. God actually called me from working a 9 to 5 job like 8 years ago. I haven't been working a 9 to 5 job for like 8 years, and He's been taking care of me, but He actually have been putting me in different fields and stuff like that, but it wasn't really bringing me true fruition. And I'm saying like, God, like you got me doing certain things in my life, and I'm like, God, financially, God, I'm not actually stable fully, God, but I'm trusting You. But then again, I'm like, what's going on? And throughout that, sometimes God just be testing you. He was just testing me to see how bad I wanted it. He was testing me. He was testing my character to see would I go back to the old instead of just pushing forward. And a lot of people would, if y'all was in my shoes, probably would have went back to the old. But that is a time to actually trust God even more in such a time as this. He's calling a lot of people out there 9 to 5 jobs right now and pushing y'all more into y'all gifts for a reason, because it's very important for such a time as this. Your true stability is really throughout your gifts, because not a man, not Satan, not nobody can come in and take that from you. So really, He was just pushing me to what I'm doing right now, which is my true gift. This is my gift. Me just preaching and talking and flowing like this. This is a gift. Me writing books, that's a gift. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and me becoming a digital marketer, like, not something that I just wanted to do just off the dome, but that is just my gift, and that's in the will, like that's what he has for me. So, well, like I said, when y'all give God that yes, it might not be something that you ever saw yourself doing for real or becoming, but that is your gift. He know that your gift is going to make room for you. He know that your gift is going to bring forth true stability in the things that you have been praying for and asking for. So we just have to trust him, y'all. That is just the time to trust him. Girl, when I was 20 years old, I was, girl, I was, I don't even want to say it. When I was around that age, I believe God was trying to push me more so into my gift and well, but it was a lot of stuff that I was going through around that age. Like I said, my childhood, my innocence was taken away from me. My teenage life was taken away from me. I never got a chance to go to prom. I never got a chance to actually be a child for real. And that's why even when I was in my 20s, that's why I had to, like, I had a childlike mind for real, because I never got a chance to like actually have a childhood or a teenage life. And so God had to kind of break that off of me. That's why he more so put me in a car as well, because it was going to bring that grown woman out of me. Like I said, I was forced to have to grow up really fast throughout my life. And it has, like, my life has never for real been easy, but it's been blessed. You know what I'm saying? I'm very blessed. I'm just thankful for God using me at such a time as this to help other people and to spread the word and to be an inspiration to a lot of other people, to tell them that they can do it as well. It don't matter where you come from. It's about where you going. And I'm teaching people how to not wear that burden on their shoulders, because y'all know, like, I'm the first out of my family to break the generational curse. Like, my grandmother family is real small. Yeah, we have a real small immediate family. I think it's only, like, for real, like ten of us. And I'm just including the grandchildren. I think it's like 10 of us for real in my grandma immediate family. And I'm the first out of those 10 to break the generational curse. So growing up, I had to carry my grandmother's, I had to carry, I had to carry my grandmother's burdens, and I had to carry my mama's burdens on my own. And that's not easy. You know what I'm saying? That's not easy. So it has, it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing though. Like, it made me who I am today. So it's been quite a blessing.
I love that. And I know I usually ask this at like some point of the podcast, but I wanted to know what are your favorite verses that like kept you throughout this time? Because usually I love hearing people's verses, so that I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
you know what? I might like that. I'm gonna keep that one under my belt. So what are your favorite verses?
Um, when I was like 19, and this is what stuck with me. This is what carried me all these years. Psalms 121. I would kind of read it over and over again, like, especially, Psalms 121 can kind of go for a lot of things in your life, like when you don't have no money, when you dealing with depression, when you feel alone. I would read Psalms 121. I also like Psalms 93. Um, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I also, hold up, because I'm more so in the Psalms. Like, I'm a Psalms person. No, for real, throughout my life, my teenage life, my adult life, it actually has just been Psalms 121 and Psalms 93 for real. Like that. Like,
There's
I'm
no
so
there.
for real.
Don't worry, there's nothing wrong with Psalms. Psalms is amazing. A lot of people love Psalms. I love Psalms. I know there's this verse in Psalms. I forgot what it was, but there's this verse in Psalms and that it says, "Lord, you are mine." I'm telling you, when I heard that verse, I was like, "Hold on, wait a minute." I said, "I need this everywhere." I said, "Cause God, you are mine." I was like, "You don't need."
That's
I
right.
like no, you're not leaving me. I'm not leaving you. We're like this. There's nothing that's gonna take you away from me. And I tell you, I tell God, I'm like, you better prepare to be sick of me because I'm gonna be like, God, 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 and He's gonna be like, Yes, Janae. Yes, my daughter. What do you want?
All
And
right,
I feel like
girl.
I heard it's the things he loves the most. Is when you're always calling on him, you're always asking him questions. He's just like, yes, yes. What do you need? It's like, what do you need today? And I love that verse so much. I'll literally put it up. But I love that verse so much because it when I first heard it, it warmed me up so much because it made me realize that, like, you know what, God is mine, and obviously I have to share God with other people, but the Lord is mine. And when I said Jesus was my Lord and Savior, He became mine, and He never left me. Like, He
That's right.
is always going to be mine. So
That's right.
I was like, you know what? Forget about our relationships. I said, if I was like, God, if this man doesn't tell me I'm his, I was like, I love that verse so much, and it's so beautiful because it's just those simple words just like make my day, and I'm just like, yay! I'm just like, yay, God! A whole another day is you're mine. You're not leaving me. I'm not leaving you. We're together. There's no ending of this.
That's right.
And I think the only other thing is there anything else you want to share really quickly?
Um, yeah, it is. So when you well, I'm not gonna start off with that. Don't go weary in good doing. That's what I want to say. Don't go weary in good doing. Like right now, and I'm gonna be completely honest, this is transparency because I'm very transparent. That's how God uses me for his people, for his children. Um, like right now I'm facing eviction. Like even though God brought me to another state, and like I said, when I traveled to over 20 states off of $98, He did put the money in my hand for me and my daughter to be able to get us a place to stay, right? And it's been like 3 months since I've been in this place so far, or four. I want to say four. Um, and right now I'm like facing eviction for real, and like 3 weeks ago, he got my car towed. Like, yes, he got my car towed. I mean, like I said, I'm always constantly like on my pavements and on my stuff. But because I gave him this yes and I had to obey him, like my next step in life and what's getting ready to come for me, I have no control. Like when you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow or how it's gonna happen, that is how you know you're in the will of God for real. So this is my life right now, and the reason why I brought this up is because I'm not worried. Like I came on here, girl, I got on this podcast feeling happy. I have my days because I'm like, God, like, what are you doing, God? Like, baby, I ain't got no car to even go back and sleep in my car again. So I know you not finna tell me and my daughter finna be on the street. So, and God, of course he's not. Like, God is not a man that goes backwards. He does everything forward, and he didn't bring me this far to leave me. And the reason why I put this out here, because it goes with what I just said, that don't go weary and good doing, because I'm doing the right thing. And I know the enemy will try to plant seeds in your mind into believing that is doing the wrong thing. God doesn't love you. Look at you about to be evicted. Look at you you don't have no transportation. I've been having to walk to get me and my daughter something to eat and stuff like that. But he's still been taking care of me. My lights and stuff is still on. I'm still able to do work. He's still giving me business strategies. He's still giving me things to promote and stuff like that. Like he's been still keeping money in my pocket. But it's just I still haven't so much as seen my breakthrough. And like I said, I just need somebody to see how peaceful you got to be in the midst of the storm, and how, you know, you still got to keep going even when it looks ugly, even when the storms look really bad around you and it look like, you don't know what's next or what's finna come for you. Continue to keep doing good, because anybody else, if they would have probably went out here and tried to find their way. They would have went out and got themselves into some more trouble, which I did do in the future, because that's what led me to be a stripper. Like when I was a wife, when I was married, I got married at 19, and the seed had already been planted in me. I always been a woman of God, y'all. I love church. I always went to church. I always paid my tithes and offering. Like, I'm a cheerful giver. Like, sometimes I tend to get to overgive, if you ask me, but I'm a cheerful giver. Um, so I always, the seed had already been planted since a little girl, but I just had a real terrible life. I ain't gonna say terrible, but it was a lot of people around me to try to stop me. So when God started to take things away from me, like my husband, like when I gave birth to my daughter, which is my daughter's dad, I was married to her dad. He abandoned me and my daughter, and he abandoned us, and he left me to go start a family with somebody else, when she was only 3 weeks old. And I kind of had to jump from house to house. And, God, instead of me just waiting on God to see what he was going to do for me, I kind of just went to find my own way, because at the time, my family, this is when I started to see my family turn their backs on me. Nobody wanted to open up their door for me. And I'm like, I just had my own house. God had blessed me and my husband with our own house, our own place, for the sake of my child. You know what I'm saying? And that was my first house. I had got my first house at the age of 21. And he abandoned me. He left me. Of course, I couldn't pay the bills. So I went and got myself into some more trouble, and then brought more trauma onto myself, which is me stripping. But even though I did go the bad route, God still used it for my good. He really did. Stripping, it taught me business. It taught me how to communicate for real. But I'm just saying this to say this, that sometimes you just have to sit still and just wait on God, especially if it's a God thing. You can tell the difference when it's something that you can do to help yourself than that this is a God thing, that baby, I can't look left, I can't look right. Like, it's literally gonna go the way that God wanted to go. So I'm just showing y'all what it look like. And to continue to smile and continue to be rejoiceful. And to be honest, this is a time when you are losing stuff, or you don't know which way to go. This is a time for you to rejoice and just be glad in it. Cause David, I mean, don't allow the enemy to take your joy away. Be happy, be thankful. God is using this situation for my good, because it's something bigger and better getting ready to come for me, and it's gonna happen soon. Me and God, He's still been talking to me. We still been in conversation and stuff like that. And I'm sitting here like, God, how soon is this thing gonna come? Cause baby, oh my gosh. Oh my God. But yes, that's really what I wanted to say. Just don't go weary and good doing.
That is the most realist thing I've ever heard. You just exposed yourself to all these people, but it's okay. It's okay. What are you hiding? It's just it's another testimony to put under your bag of testimonies that God has done. So there's no wrongdoing in what you're doing. But I love this so much. I think this episode just gives like a lot of, I say, faith. Like, it's talking about faith. It's talking about testimonies, trusting in God, because you don't know what can happen. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen,
Girl,
but all you know is something good is gonna come out of it, and that
this
is
year,
is good.
this year has been really crazy. That's why I said I can't, like, even with the sleeping in a car situation, like, I didn't even know that was gonna happen. I didn't know that was gonna play out the way it played out. I didn't know, but he did keep me moving. Like I said, I was on an assignment when I was sleeping in my car. Like, I wasn't just sitting still in one spot. Like, every state I went to, literally every day, I was working for God out of 4 months. Those 4 months, I was working 7 days a week. I used to take like 1 or 2 breaks, or when my cycle came on, I kind of rested a little bit. But majority of those days, I was literally working for God. I really was. This journey. That's why I said when y'all be ready to give God that yes, cause when you give Him that yes, and you be like, yes, God, I don't, cause God didn't allow me to settle. Like no matter how bad. Like when I was in Georgia, I didn't necessarily have a bad life for real. Yes, I was going through a lot of turmoil. I was going through a lot of stuff in life for real because I was around a lot of my enemies. Like I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say it was just all glamorous, but it it wasn't that bad to the point where I had to go sleep in my car, and you know what I'm saying, it was bearable, I can say that. But God was like, the stuff that I'm trying to give you, I can't give it to you because you're around too many enemies. You're around people that really want you dead. And I was around a lot of people that really wanted me dead. And it was more so of my family that did not want me alive. I did have witches and stuff coming in my dreams, visiting me at night, telling me they are a witch and stuff like that. Like that's why I keep saying people want to walk in your shoes because they see the blessings you're receiving, but people don't understand the hell I had to get to just to be seen, just to be heard, and just to come this far, man. Like this anointing is not easy to carry. Like it's not easy to carry that on your spirit for real. Like you're always isolated. I haven't had no friends, no best friends in about 5 going on 6 years. Like, like girl. And that's why I say I can't. I'm literally in the will of God. I don't know what's next for me. What's next for me? I know it's something good, but I just don't know when it's gonna come, how it's gonna come. I don't know what's next for real. I'm just trusting God, y'all. This is what it looks like to just trust God for real. Like I'm 28. I didn't really mention my age. I'm only 28 years old. Um, this it, baby. This is me. This this is what it looks like for real. This is what it looks like. So I'm just going through the motion, honey. I'm just going through the motion. It's really nothing I can do for real. It's absolutely nothing I can do for real.
It's beautiful though. It's beautiful. Just knowing, like, you know what? Just having an unbelievable, ridiculous faith is the best part about it. Because everybody's gonna look at you like you're crazy, but you're not even crazy. You just God crazy. You just Jesus crazy.
For real,
And
girl.
it's I think this is what the title of the podcast is. It's just saying yes, giving God that yes. It's just you don't know what you signed up for after that yes, but
Oh, for real.
just know, just
Girl, I
just
don't
know.
know. I don't know. Girl, I'm so for real. He done let my car got towed 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think it's going on a month now. And
Mm.
then with me being eviction, girl, I'm like $5,000 behind in rent. Girl, I'm like, God, ain't no way you done brought me this far to leave me. And in the midst of it, it will look like that. Like it will look like I feel so abandoned right. I feel so abandoned right now. I'm like, God, there ain't no way. Like, oh my God, I'm just so. It could be. I have days where I be a little frustrated, even get angry sometimes, and that's normal. That's normal. I try not to beat myself up about the things that I have to experience in life because it's working out for my good. And I know for a fact that I am on the edge of a breakthrough. Like, this is my edge because, baby, I have no more edges to go. I have no more edges to go on. Like, this better be the last edge, the last strike. I'm telling you, I can't, like, it has to be. It has to be.
God, this is your last straw.
This the
Like this is
last
your last
straw.
one.
Baby, this the
Like,
last straw. Like, and you know what's it is beautiful, but you know what's so good about it though, because when God do take us through certain things, He know how much to push you. He's not gonna push you so much to the point where you're gonna go back to your old ways because he know if he continue to do certain things, it might end up taking us back to the world for real. So God is so good. He only gonna give us so much to deal with before we be like, baby, let me hit the strip club. 'Cause I'm not gonna lie. But boy, I'm telling you, I'm like, God, my body still look good. God, okay now. I haven't I haven't stripped in 6 years. I only stripped for about 2 years. When I did go to stripping, I did strip about 2 years. It's been 6 years that I actually moved on and never looked back. It's going on 6 years now. That's the blessing of it all. I would never switch up on God. You know what I'm saying? This is just transparency. This is a joking moment, but I'm like, God, okay now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So I have one last question, and then I don't have any more. So what was it that moment that like made you, like you could say like your deepest moment that made you change it all and start becoming on fire for God? What was that moment?
it was my daughter.
Mm.
It was my daughter. It wasn't necessarily a moment. It was for the sake of my daughter's future and how I wanted her life to be, because I'm not even gonna sit here and say I was really doing it for myself. Yes, I was doing it for myself. That is part of it. I did want a better life for myself as well. But when God gave me my daughter, I was like, I gotta keep going. Like, he gave me a child just in time. Like, at first I thought it was a bad time, and when I did give birth to her. But like I said, I wanted a better life for myself. But when he gave me my daughter, that's what kept me going. I was like, I can't give up, for the simple fact that look at the life that I had. You know what I'm saying? Look at all the stuff I had to go through, and I had to do it alone by myself to even get this far. And I was like, my daughter has to at least have a better life than what I had to experience, because I wouldn't want her to even go through or deal with nothing that I went through. And I know she's gonna deal with some stuff in life, but because I pushed and I broke the generational curse, um, my daughter haven't even seen half of the stuff that I went through. She's seen a little bit about, us having to be homeless, but that ain't even compared to what I had to experience growing up for real. Like, and I'm still going, like I say, it's still some stuff and trials and tribulations I'm trying to push forward to, and I'm trying to see a better life with just being stable. God know my biggest thing that I just been praying for years for, with just stability, because when I've been jumping from place to place, house to house, literally since a little girl, because my mom, she said she was trying to get herself together, and she would take me over this person house, that person house, this person house. So I never really been stable for real. I will only stay like just a little bit, and then I'm on to the next place. So I gotta do this, or I gotta do that. So with me coming here to this space, and now I'm going through like an eviction. It's been like, I'm like, God, like, you know what I'm saying? I really thought that this was my stability. Like, what's going on? Like, are you finna put me in a 5-bedroom house and 6 bathrooms for real? Like, I'm okay with that if that's what you're trying to give me. Like, but I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? So I still have days where I go through the motion of it. Like I said, I'm very transparent. Like, I don't get on here and fake it, like, because God don't want me to fake it. I tell the truth, because being a child of God is not easy. Like, you're gonna go through stuff, and you're gonna deal with stuff as such as this and what I'm dealing with, and just trying to figure out like what's going on, God. Like, you know, something gotta break, something gotta give. So it was more so of my daughter. It was more so of my daughter. Ashley, if I wouldn't have gave birth to my child, I probably would have stopped trying a long time ago. I'm not gonna lie. And that's why God gave me my daughter, so she could be that extra push that I needed for real. Because like I said, I've been doing this on my own since the age of 15, really younger than that for real. And that I didn't have nobody to really push me, and he knew that it was gonna come a time where it wasn't gonna be nobody around. So the only push that I was gonna need have for real was my daughter. So it is really my daughter that keeps me going, and she actually pushes me. I'm not she pushes me for real. I would have been gave up. I would have been gave up.
Well, we
I,
thank God for bringing her into your life.
for
We
real.
really do. We thank God. And I think it's really nice for her to also see her mother in this type of light. Like, oh, my mom does podcasts. My mom goes on TikTok live. She knows who God is. She knows
Mm-hmm.
maybe some things about God that
Mm-hmm.
she knows about God. And it's just good for her to instill it this young, because I know you said you didn't have it. So you're just bringing on something new onto her life,
That's
and you're
right.
showing her that, you know what, God, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and that's the only way it's gonna be done. And I'm so thankful for the time that you've given us, because I know we could go on for a long, long, and long. And I love everything about you, your personality and everything, and I love the
Thank
transparency.
you.
I love the transparency, because there's no reason to front when you're a child of
No,
God.
no, for real,
There's no
girl.
reason.
A lot of
Everybody
them,
knows. Everybody
a
got to
lot
know.
of
You
them
know
do
what?
it. A lot of them do it. A lot of them do it, and that's not where God wanted us to more so go. Like He wants you to be transparent, so you can show other people how it is. Because if you don't show that transparency, and I'm not saying that you got to tell everything that you have to go through in life, but if you don't just show just a little transparency, it will confuse the people that is watching you. They will always believe and think that it's gonna be an easy walk with God, and baby, it's not that. It actually get a little bit harder and a little bit tougher when you do go through the fire for real. It does. And I don't went through many fires in life, and baby, I get me and God, we get that victory every time. So that's why I said I don't come too far to believe that this is it, or me and my daughter finna be out on the streets and it's cold now. It's real cold. He done moved me to Missouri. I'm in the state of Missouri, so it get real cold up here. It's snow. Ain't no way God is saying that I'm finna be homeless. Like, that's not even my portion. You know what I'm saying? So I know He ain't bring me this far to leave me. I just know that a breakthrough, something is getting ready to happen for me. It has to, or I'm finna be back in the club. I'm just being. I'm,
You ain't gonna do that. God don't
I'm
want
not
that
gonna.
one. He's
I'm
just
not
pushing you a
gonna.
little bit. He's just pushing your buttons just a little bit. Just see how far you're gonna go.
No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just kidding. I'm not
I
gonna do it.
know.
I would go back and work a job or something before I go back to that lifestyle. That it really wasn't a good lifestyle.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine. It's a lot of worldly things that go behind there, and I know
Hmm.
that's a story for another time for you. So you
Right,
can.
right.
That's a story for another time. But I'm so thankful that you came on here, having telling your testimony, giving us a little bit about your life, and just seeing how God has used you in multiple different ways and different platforms, and just showing that your walking Christ is just like any other. It's no different and it's no better. You're
That's
just like the
right.
rest of us.
That's
I
right.
thank
That's
you so
right.
much. I thank you so much. And
Thanks,
God,
Ray. Thank you for
you're
having me. It's been an
welcome.
honor. It's a blessing, girl. Your podcast is gonna take off. You are gonna see fruition out of this, and I want you just even on your walk to not give up. Don't even allow the outside things that you deal with to keep you from stopping. Because, like I said, it could have been a lot of days that I could have been like, "Well, I don't want to preach and teach the word of God today because, babe, I'm dealing with eviction." You know, that's what the enemy wants you to do. He wants you to throw in the towel and not have that energy to give to God and His works and what He is calling you to do. That's why He try to throw all that He can at us to stop us in our tracks. And the devil is a liar. We're gonna continue to serve God. Soon I get off of here. I'm gonna get right on live and preach and teach the word of God. So, I mean, the show has to go on. And like I said, sometimes God will test you to see would you put everything on pause just because you're dealing with something. And I do give myself a day to, like, especially if I'm going through the motion or if I'm crying for that day. I do give myself like a day to be like, okay, Kira, you got to get yourself back together. I give myself that time because we're still human. You're going to need that time to cry and break down and be angry and stuff like that. But the show must go on, honey. So I want you to understand that.
Thank you, and I do understand that. I thank you so much for just coming up on here again. And I thank God for your daughter. I know God will bring you a 5 bedroom, 10 bedroom home. Don't worry, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Thank you, everyone who's tuned in for another amazing episode. And I will see you guys in the next episode, another amazing guest. And they will continue to talk about the Word of God, and they will continue to talk about their walk in Christ. I hope everybody has an amazing and blessed day. Bye, everyone.
Bye. God bless you. Hope to see you again.